Hi, I'm Jacqueline Pigdon from Gina Life, and welcome to this week's Wednesday's Wisdom. Today's video, I'm going to talk to you about a particular question I want you to remember to ask yourself when you've been through a little bit of an upset or a traumatic experience, a position where you look back and think, yeah, I've learned a lesson. I'm glad that's over, but I'm also glad that things are okay now. For example, you might have had an argument with someone at work and it was really looking like it was going absolutely nowhere. You didn't resolve anything. You went home that night. You couldn't sleep so well, but the next day, luckily, you were able to meet back with that person at work and discuss through the elements that were a trouble the day before, and everything was then back on track and okay. Now, when we feel like that, often we're very tired and very emotionally drained because we've been through this emotional, traumatic experience. And you can look back and think, oh, thank God that's over. But the most important thing you can do next is sit down and reflect and ask yourself, if I had that all over again, how would I have done that differently, knowing what I know now? It's knowing what I know now, perhaps about the situation or the other person, or even what you know and have learned about your own self through that situation that had just occurred. So it's really, really important that after it happens, you sit down and you reflect and you ask yourself, if I had that time over again, how would I do it differently? Now, the reason for this is because then that sets clear in your mind that next time maybe a similar situation might arise, you know specifically what you're going to do differently next time. So I recommend that you do this, and not only when you've had perhaps a traumatic experience, because I hope you're not having too many of them, but anytime you've learned something about yourself that will help you in future, I want you to take a moment to really reflect and write down how this will specifically help you, because then you've got a much better chance of remembering it next time. And also, if you don't want to just write it down, tell it to somebody else, or tell someone about the situation, and that helps it sink into your mind as well. So I'm Jacqueline Pigdon from Gina Life. I hope you've enjoyed today's coaching video. If you have, please feel free to share it with your friends. And until next time, I hope you have a fantastic day. If I look back to see what I would have done differently, knowing what I know now, there's so many things I probably wouldn't know where to start. But it does make me think of the big boat race on the weekend with Cambridge and Oxford. I'm sure there's quite a few people there thinking that if I had had this day all over again, knowing what I know now, how would have I done and what would have I done differently?